streaming? Okay, now it says I'm streaming, so that's good. I hope everything went through there. I'm just gonna assume it did. I guess. We'll say it did. Just because that'll make my life better. Let's see if I can get to chat here. It's weird when you set an event. The live stream is different than if you just say, "Hey, I'm gonna live stream." It's a little bit different. So let's do this. Okay, yeah. It's probably doubling up on sound now, though. Okay. Cool. Well, maybe I'll wait around until we get some chat or something like that. Let's see, I can pop out chat. That might be a better idea. As far as I can tell, everything's working. But we'll wait around here because I don't think it's quite noon o'clock Central Time as of yet. So we'll wait around. We'll see. Everything looks good. 0 dropped frames. Hopefully it's working. We got one individual. Alright, it's 12:01. So, recently Maker's Muse, Angus from Maker's Muse, came out with a video talking about maker coins, what they are, what the point of them is. So, if that's something you want to get briefed on the history of that, you can check his video out. I'll try and leave a URL in the description, so you guys can watch that if you want to. But I was thinking, I haven't even made a maker coin. I've had the channel now for like a year almost, I think, something like that. At least been posting regularly for about a year. And I don't even have a maker coin. So I was thinking, if people were around on a Sunday, wanted to watch a live stream and tell me what to do to make my maker coin better, I figured I'd make one for about an hour in both Tinkercad as well as Fusion 360. Try it in Fusion 360. I'm not the best with Fusion 360, but I'm not the best with Tinkercad for that matter either. But figured give it a whirl. Why not, right? So let's go into Tinkercad. So this is Autodesk Tinkercad. It's a free platform. You can just sign up for it with Autodesk. Doesn't cost you any money or anything. Just have to sign up, get a profile on there with an email address, and you can start designing things. So I think what I'll do is probably just make a standard maker coin, I suppose. I mean, I don't don't really know what else. We can do it in Tinkercad, I think, decently easy. I was playing around with it a little bit a while ago, so I'm just going to drop a cylinder in here, I think. We'll just start off with a pretty easy deal. We'll make it like, I don't know, 35 millimeters in diameter. Maybe we'll bring this down to about 3 millimeters. Then I'm going to do a Control D. I'm going to duplicate that in place. I'm going to bring it up 1 millimeter. Then I'm going to bevel the edges on this so it's not completely flat. So I'll just bevel this down to where it's like a little bit rounded. If you increase the segments, you can get that bevel to kind of come down a little bit too. It's more like a rounded cylinder. So I'm going to do that, kind of almost make it look like a cake, essentially. A round pancake. Pancake, I guess that's what it is. I'm going to group this together. So then we got our little like pancake there with the flat bottom. And then I think what I'm going to do is maybe we'll put like circular cutouts, spherical cutouts in here. Because I think half the point of a whole maker coin, doing a maker coin, right, is trying to kind of test your printer at the same time. It's not just having just a maker coin. It's more about like, hey, this is my design style and this is what my printer's capable of. Check it out. Here's my maker coin, you know. Kind of like your own personal branding type deal, which I'm not huge into the personal branding, but I have. It's better than me just throwing up random stuff, so I figured, let's try and make one. So this should now be 4 millimeters tall. So I'm gonna bring it down to 2 millimeters. And you can see there's a little bit of a difference there because the top is rounded to get that 4. So what I'm gonna probably do is bring it up just slightly. So I'll go to like negative 1.9. Try and even that out a little bit. We might even go like negative 1.8. There we go. Now we know that the center is on the work plane. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to grab a box. I'm sure there's other ways to do this in Tinkercad. I just found this to be kind of the easiest way to do it. So by doing it, I'm referring to creating kind of a revolve function. Hey David, how's it going? You didn't miss anything. I'm just coming up with ideas for a maker coin, so you're all good. Just started. I'm just playing around with Tinkercad and Fusion 360. Probably just do this one quick in Tinkercad because I'm really familiar with that and it's a little bit easier to do. So I'm just going to do duplicate that, put it at 90. Basically all I'm trying to do at this point is I'm just going to try and make like cutouts around the whole thing, like a revolve essentially, and you don't really have that in Fusion or in Tinkercad like you do in Fusion 360. So I'm trying to come up with a workaround for that, and I think we've got it. We'll see. I don't know. If you haven't seen Angus's video, Maker's Muse, on the Maker Coin and the whole idea behind it, that's a pretty cool one to check out. He just released it this morning, so I figured, I don't have one. Might as well try and make one, I suppose. But I'm just going to make this like a 10 millimeter sphere, I guess. I'm going to put it at 5 so it's on the work plane. I'm going to turn this transparent, and the ball transparent as well. So I then can line it up with this. I'm going to go behind my head on the video here and go to 0.1 millimeter resolution. And then I can kind of put this in the middle and then bring it out to the edge. So I'm going to do that 4 times. Well, if I actually control D to duplicate, I'm going to do that 4 times on this x-axis we're working with here. Just going to try and line it up. It's a little tricky with Tinkercad just because it's not kind of built with the precision in mind when they built Tinkercad, but we can make it work. I'm gonna duplicate that again in place. Try and center it up. Pull that one over there. How's your Sunday going? Hopefully it's going well. I woke up this morning, I was kind of bored, so I was like, we'll do something. Why not? Okay, so I have these 3 or 4 set up on 90 degrees, so I know they're on 90 degrees. So what I can try and do now is group those together with Shift. I can just kind of go, oops, I want to do Control D for those 4, and then I'm just going to move them to where I can go like probably 45 will be evenly spaced. I'm okay with that. So then I'm gonna take this whole thing and I'm gonna do a Shift. Slappy. It's cold outside and the printer's warm. That's good. You gotta have that. I tried to do my, let's see if I can do this. We'll do a break here. But if the ANET A8 pops up, should be able to see that now, like in the upper left. Well, I tried to start a print before I started the live stream, like 10 minutes before, and I just set it because it's all auto level and everything, and I had a GoPro hooked up to the ANET A8, and the thing just ran into the bed, so the sensor is probably like 3 millimeters off now because it hit the GoPro when it was auto homing. So I almost had the printers running, but it's alright. It happens. That's how life works. I'm okay with it though. It happens. Let's see, reset this chat window. So now, what did I do here? Oh, okay, so we essentially revolved them around this center axis. And now we can switch, I'm going to switch those over to holes now. So to do that, I'm going to grab all of these, and then I'm going to hold down Shift, deselect the disk, make those holes, and then I can group that together. So hopefully what we'll have is some complex curves in here. That would be kind of, I think, slightly difficult to print, right? Because you got a curve coming in here, you have an overhang here, overhang on the edge. I think that's kind of cool. We'll bring that up to 0 off the work plane. So then it's just chilling there. And then I think what we'll do is maybe put a ring around it. I don't know, we'll do sides. We'll make this, I don't know, what's a good color? Yellow. That way we can see it. I'll make the sides on this like as high a resolution as possible. And we'll make the wall thickness maybe like 1 millimeter. I don't think we have to bevel the segment or anything like that. But then we can just kind of make it fit. I'm going to increase my resolution to 0.1 millimeter. Possibly. I don't know. Let's go like that. That's okay. We'll go down just slightly. Let's do this at like 25 millimeters. And we'll line it up and see how it rocks. That should be okay. For some reason it's not completely lined up on there. There we go. Oh, maybe not. I think I was slightly off on my spheres. Yeah, you can see that just off a bit. Not bad though. Just moving that with the arrow keys. Just trying to see if there's a sweet spot that'll get it not to show up on the other side. Yeah, we're almost there. That should work. It's not like it's structurally important or anything, so I'm not too worried about it. But then our total height of the bottom of the coin is 4 millimeters, so I'm going to inset this 1 millimeter, so I'll set this to 3. So then I know it's 1 millimeter into it. I'll make that whole. Group that. There we go. So now we got a ring around it. And then I'm thinking I'm going to put the logo for the channel in there. I'm thinking. So I don't know really what else to do. Plus the logo kind of gets kind of crazy. So I made this logo a while ago, but all I used was a program called Pick to SVG. I went over it in another video a while ago, but it's a really cool little website. So it's picsvg.com. And so I have all this like channel art from the year of this channel, just random stuff. So I have this revamped outdoors with the extruder hot end in there. But all you do is just put a picture in there, and it'll pop up like really good looking SVGs. Like it does a great job. I don't know what their little algorithm is that they use on this specific like SVG creator website, but it's great. Like it's way easier than messing around with like Inkscape and stuff, and it comes out just fine. Like that looks great to me. I got no problem with that. And then you can pick, because it's an SVG that we're going to use for 3D modeling, right? So any part of the SVG that's black is going to be a solid object, and whatever's white is going to be nothing. Essentially, it would be 0 in space. So you just go through here for which one you like, and it does different ways, right? Like it'll invert it for you, and then you can pick which one specifically matches your photo, and then you can just download that SVG. It's really cool too because it doesn't have to be these kind of logo type situation. Oh, it's too large. Really? Is this too large? That's too large too. There we go. Some weird channel art. Let's see what it does with it. But yeah, see? Isn't that cool? Like it'll take anything you want. David asks, is the logo too complex for the coin? I'm not sure. I don't think so. It should be okay. We'll see. I'll try and throw it on there and see what happens. But you can like get really artistic with this website really quickly, right? Like that's almost abstract. It's just a cool little thing to play with. You can throw any picture in there and it'll pop out an SVG for you. So then you can modify it with 3D printing. So back to the logo. So I think getting back to, is it too complex? I'm not sure. I'll have to print it eventually, but I think my printer, at least the ANET, the modified ANET, can handle it. But we'll have to see. The thing with that I'm thinking is we can't cut it out. Right? We won't be able to cut out the whole thing. Like I couldn't do this number. Let's see. Like if we brought it in here like that. Yeah, something like, try and make it as big. I'm holding down shift the whole time while I do this so it keeps it in proportion. Do something like that, I'm thinking. But if I were to make this a whole and then like cut this out completely, so we'll group it now. Wait a second for it to figure itself out. There we go. I think so. This obviously this creates some issues, right? Like if we think about this printing, these are just going to be on the bed. So when you take it off the bed, all these are going to break off. You're just going to be left with the R and this part of the extruder, and the O will just be an O, and then this part of the hot end, so the heat block and the nozzle, those will just be empty as well. So it's not really kind of the look we're going for. At least I don't think. I mean, that'd be kind of cool too, but we could have did an SVG, a different SVG for that to make it easier on the printer. But we're at 4 millimeters. We're at the top of the coin, so if we go down to, if we do like another millimeter on that, we put it down 3. I think then we can group that. There we go. So then we'll have these kind of individual parts that'll stick out 1 millimeter. And then it'll kind of look like that. Let's put it to yellow, easier to see. It'll look like that when we print it. So I'm thinking that's a good kind of start out the stream with Maker Coin on Tinkercad, I think. I don't know. I think it kind of tests the limits of a printer, especially fine resolution and retraction, with all these little pieces in there that are all the pillars that are going to stand up. And then you have these kind of complex overhangs from the sphere that come in. It would be nice to have the ability to kind of do fillets and stuff on these corners like you can in Fusion 360, but I think for Tinkercad that's pretty cool. Little coin. I don't know. So is there anything you guys want to add to this one, or restart and do another one? because I don't really have any ideas. My only thing is some other maker coins have these huge cuts in them. So like Angus's has a couple that show kind of the resolution of a printer specifically. So some kind of like this number, right? So it would go all the way to the bottom. Let's do like that, something like that. Group that in. Something like that, right? So it's a little bit more dynamic in the center. I don't know if I like that as much. It's kind of nice just having it like that. I think that's pretty complex, at least for Tinkercad. We could get really crazy with it too. There's a cool, what is the ring I think you can do this with? Yeah, so bump up the sides as much as we can, but you can set this ring now here underneath the shape dialog. You can set this thing to crazy angles. So it's showing us right now the side extrusion profile of the ring. So if we do something like this, something like that, I suppose. Bring this down a little more, up a little more. What we could do is kind of add another overhang. I think you have plenty of detail. I just wonder how it'll print at 100%. Yeah. Probably not very good. Probably not very good. We'll see. I think it'll probably squeak by. Probably. I mean, we gotta see, but I think it'll probably squeak by. But we could do something like this then. Alright, if we brought all this here, here, here. Alright, we can make it real challenging for printers. We'll align this like that. Then we make this a hole. And we bring this up a little, then this down. So now we know it's cutting off the base there. We'll have a decent overhang there. That's not too challenging, I don't think. So maybe we'll yeah, something like that. Yeah, make people hate it. There we go. Something like that. A little bit in there. But we'll keep that little kind of chamfer, or the bevel on the outside of that. Then we'll group that. Yeah, that ring is real nice for, it's kind of like if you want to chamfer or fillet something, it kind of takes the place of a tool that would do that. It's really tough to get high resolution with it, but it's fun to play around with that type. So there we go. Now it's a little bit trickier with that overhang on there. A little bit more dynamic, I think. Maybe a little bit more of a challenge. Kind of like the bottle cap idea. Kind of gave me an idea. Should try and make it like a bottle cap. That'd be kind of cool. A little tougher to do in Tinkercad, but could try that. But yeah, I don't know what else to add in there. If you like doing the modifying shapes tool stuff, there's a featured shape. So if you go into the Tinkercad basic shapes dialog here, there's a bunch of different ones you can pick. The featured shape generator also has one in here that is pretty cool. Let me see if I can actually find it and remember it. That's always the problem. But it gives you all this. You can do all sorts of stuff. Like we could have just made a gear straight up with this tool. So you just add your number of teeth and it'll add a gear for you. And then you can kind of manipulate that into whatever gear you might need for a project. That's a pretty cool tool. Doesn't let you chamfer or anything like that, but this metric one's pretty cool too, with the actual tooth type stuff. So like if you needed to make a GT2 gear for the belts or something on a printer, you can use this, figure out those dimensions and add the teeth and the pitch angle and make that out of there. It saves you a lot of time trying to mess around and add different things. This one is cool. You can use that for what we did here. Let's see. So we could have done something like this. Oh, you know what? Maybe we... don't want to mess up a good thing. It's already working. Let's see. But we could do another circle potentially. There we go. And then like we can bring the size down on that. The radius, the number of each one, or you can modify this then too. You can always come in here and snap. It makes life a lot easier. But we could do something like this. That's going to mess up the cylinder. Point inside, point outside. Let's just revamp that. I don't know if I want to keep going with stuff. Might as well. Triangle would be cool. Oh, man. I might have to mess with this. We might have to do something like this now. So if we have, how many? 3, 7. Ooh. Let's put 7 in there, see what it does. That might work. Let's see, how wide was this thing? So 33.75. So if we make this, then let's do like 43.75. Too far. We've gone too far. I don't think it's gonna line up perfectly, because I went off the cuff with it. That's what you get for not using the tools provided. But there's another one that's an extrusion tool that is really, oh, the one that says extrusion. Anyway, you can start. I saw this on a guy's video that was, he made a whole crayfish out of Tinkercad, which I thought was pretty cool. But this one's awesome, right? You can just, it becomes whatever you want it to become, instead of having to conform to what size. I'll try and find that guy's video and post it in the description after the stream as well. But yeah, it allows you to mess with different shapes, and then you can come up with pretty complex things. You could see how this would be beneficial, right? So you'd have this as kind of like a head of something, and then you're not strictly stuck having something not so organic in Tinkercad anymore. You know. So you can have more organic shapes by the end of it. I don't know. That one's a cool one. So, yeah, always remember to try and play around with this stuff. Don't I want 8, not 7? That's a valid point, because there's 8. Because there's 8 of them. It's probably a good idea to get 8 of them. Let's see. We'll try it again now with the correct number. I don't know if it's going to line up, though, because I wasn't spot on with what I was doing before. Let's do 43.75. Let's see where we're at. I might have to mess with this one's rotation. Ooh, you know, there might be a chance. There might be a chance, but I think I'm just off slightly. I think I'm just off just slightly. I think I'll have to make this so small that they really won't do much to get them to line up. Yeah, they're going to have to cut so much of that coin off that I don't know if it'd be... I don't know if it's going to be really worth it to do it. Yeah. Almost. You could see how that'd be pretty powerful, though. Because you could essentially, right, we could have came up with that same design by using this right here. So if, like, for example, let's just put that one aside. Let's go back to basic shapes. We'll go under our cylinder again. We'll do sides however long. We'll make this one 50. Not 50 total. So I'm just tabbing over to the next size. And down to 3. I'm gonna duplicate in place. I'm gonna bring that up 1. Then I'm going to bevel the top ever so slightly with more segments. Probably go about right there. We'll group that. But that's what would have made that a lot easier to do. We'll do, instead, this time we'll do, a custom profile. Let's do a custom profile. Let's do like, which side's facing in. That's kind of cool. Something like that. Oh yeah. And then let's just do a bunch. Something like that. Why not? Why not? Go kind of like that. Bring them in a little more. And then we can do some weird stuff with the back profile as well. Let's like bring this up and out. Something like that. Maybe this one even out too. Ooh. Whoa. Oh, that was cool. Something like that. Oh, snap. We stumbled on something cool. I'll make that a hole. Oh, it's out of whack now, but let's see. Put that in. Like that. We stumbled on something cool, I think. So let's group that. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. How about that now? A little bit crazy. Let's do a tube. Again. Do one. Do a bunch of sides. That should work. Bring that up to 4. So we'll set this one at 3. Make this a hole. Group that together. That's a really cool design, I think, on the sides there. It reminds me of something like Aztec designs. Reminds me of that. Like that's on the sides of, well, I guess it could be Mayan too. I'm not sure, but they had similar design types. And then we can try and do that ring trick again and see if we can actually do it on this one. I don't know. This might be a pretty big, bold attempt here, but we'll try it. Gotta try crazy stuff, right? Man, that's gonna be interesting. That's kind of cool. It's got that nice little overhang on it. Like there and there and there. That's tricky. Let's see if we can't mess with it a bit. That one would get rid of it completely. Moving it out a little bit. That's about right there. Oh, the bottom got me. The bottom got me. Let's see, how did I do that before? Like this, right? Whoa. That's not what I want to do. Of course. Of course I mess with it right when I got it exactly how I want it. Okay, so we got that there. Now let's see if I can't. There we go. There we go. I think that might work. Yeah? Why not? Any ideas, throw them in the comment or in the chat, because I'll work on them. But look at that. Oh, that does not look fun to print at all, does it? Look at that. That overhang right there. And then this back over on this side. Oh, man. That's perfect. A whole bunch of crazy overhangs. Nothing like making things difficult. Perfect. And then we can do the same thing and just import our SVG. Make it difficult to print the logo as well. It's about right, I think. We want that at 4. Then we want it at 3. So then it's stuck in there about 1 millimeter. Group those together. Will this be no supports? Like printed with no supports? Yeah, I'm hoping. That's the idea anyway. I don't think it's that crazy. Like this overhang isn't that bad. And then this overhang isn't that bad either. So it should be able to print no supports. It's definitely going to have to be like a 0.1 millimeter layer height, I'm thinking. Just because it's a bit crazy. But I don't know. What are you guys thinking? I'm thinking it needs something in the middle, yeah? Like in here, like it's kind of boring here, yeah? I think. I'm thinking it's kind of boring in there. Definitely cool though. I like this one a lot more than this one. This one over here looks like I kind of phoned it in. This one looks like a whole lot better, like I actually thought about it. That happens. That happens. Let's do like that. That'll work. I'm thinking, let's try and use that little extrusion shape in the featured shape generators. Let us find that, and then we can do how would we do that? You know what? This one's not going to be round enough. I want it round. And you can't really do that in Tinkercad very well. That's the problem. Let's see. We can just do basic shapes. We can kind of come up with that. If we do like a sphere, we kind of mess with the sphere a little bit. But let's say I wanted to kind of have like a sphere with a larger sphere on top of it, I guess. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So I can duplicate that, drop this one down, kind of do this number here, and have those two kind of meet a little bit. And then we can go like here, grab another sphere. I guess Tinkercad's one of those, you can make anything you want. You just have to think about how to make the tool to make what you want. And I think that's why a lot of people don't really like Tinkercad. Because you got to come up with all these ideas to figure out how to make what you want to make. And some people's strengths don't play to that at all. Like, it's hard for them to come up with the idea, but the execution of it they're really good at. So it just frustrates them a little bit. And to some extent it does. I'm the same way. Eventually I'm like, oh, well, I could just do this a lot easier with something else. But I like playing around with it. Like when we switched to Fusion 360, I'll probably struggle more with that than I do with Tinkercad. But jeez, I'm just clicking everything but what I want. So I'm gonna deselect them instead. Oh, that was so stupid. I did that wrong. I'm gonna ungroup those. I did that wrong. I want those to be holes. Then I want to group everything together. There it is. Now we got something anyway. I kind of want like this indentation in there. Is what I was going for. Either, yeah, maybe cut that in half even. So we can split this then. We duplicate in place. Then we go up, we find our box. Do this. Duplicate that. I'll bring it over here. Then I'll just take the, make it bigger, make it smaller, bring it down. Then I know it's cutting off the bottom of this one, and it's cutting off the top of this one. So then I can group those, and those will be their own separate, I guess you could think about it as like chisel tools I can then use and modify. I'll bring this one up just a little bit. Group that. So now I have two tools I can use to make indentations with, which I'm thinking I will do. You can always set these as transparent. Helps out quite a bit. So you can kind of visualize what's going on. I'm going to set my resolution down to 0.1 again, just so I can move things a little bit more finely. So then this one will be cut out in there. That'd be kind of cool. Also kind of tricky to print. Group that. Ooh, one of the bait shapes. Oh. Dang lag on chat. That's a good point. How would we put that? How would we incorporate that? Just put a little tiny one in there? I'm with you. Let's do it. Problem is, so I don't know where they are. Let's see. Oh, swimming around the logo. See, now Now we're just getting crazy. Warping STLs are really tough. Let's see if we can try it though. We can try something. Let's do fourth fusion swim bait. What is that one even? Let's try import it. What's it do? What's it do? What's it do? What's it do? Nothing. Just freaks out. That's what it does. Oh, it's probably because the internet is so slow because of the live stream. Yep. That was dumb. I shouldn't have did that. I bet you guys are lagging hard. There we go. There it is. Alright. Okay. Let's see. We should be back in the green now. Okay, so we have to bend this. Bend it, bend it, bend it, bend it. Yeah, that's hard to do. I'm thinking maybe we can kind of do this. There we go. Kind of give it some perspective, sort of. Right, like it's kind of moving around. Do something like this then. Yeah, bending it's super hard though. Yeah, it's alright. I'm okay with that. That might work. That might work fine. And we can kind of do something like this. We'll cut out the majority of that. Like that, maybe. That's not going to be enough. Bring it up like this. Duplicate that. Give us just a cutout then of the profile. Almost. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. Now we have kind of a bent shape-ish, sort of. It's just super hard. I mean, there's ways you can't even really bend STLs while you're making them even. It's really tough to get that bent. There's a couple programs out there that you can use, but they're usually really pricey. And, yeah. I don't... Not a whole lot of money, because like even making that, it would be a little bit tough trying to get it to bend, but this isn't bad. I mean, not too rough, I don't think. I mean, I think get kind of the idea there, I think, anyway. So then we can inset that to our 3 millimeters, something like that. That's alright, I think. I think that looks pretty good. Decent anyway. And then there's, let's see. We have another couple in here. Hey Colin, makes stuff, comes to the stream. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Just messing around with Tinkercad. I got kind of stuck in Tinkercad here, but let's see if this doesn't. I'm going to try this real quick, so it has to upload. So the stream quality may drop, but just give it about 20 seconds because it'll come back after it uploads. I don't have the highest internet connection ever. There we go. We should be good. If it didn't freak out, then we're good to go. Well, that's good. Glad to hear you're doing well. So here is another swim bait option here that I did a while ago. We will try and do that. I don't think I'm going to bend. I don't think I'll be able to bend this one either. That's the problem with the STLs. Trying to get them to bend. It's rough. This is only halved too. So let's try and get that to be whole once again. Let's do this. Group those. Sorry, I'm kind of racing through any of this. If anybody's got questions on what I'm doing, just post it up, and I will be able to go through slower. But I figured just for this kind of thing, I'm go through it pretty quick. Because I think most of us are pretty comfortable just moving around the Tinkercad environment, but some people are just starting, so I get it. I get it. It gets a little tough sometimes. I understand. Okay, now I got that one back together at least. And we can use it. Whoa, that's out of proportion. Hey-oh. I can find kind of the sweet spot where it could lay in there. Bring that down to the work plane, get a better representation of how the pitch needs to be. Something like that should represent that pretty well. Put that like there. Have the tail going the other way. Something like that. I'm thinking. Bring that one up. Increase my resolution. Oh, really? Picking the wrong one. Something like that. Oh, I think that looks pretty slick. We can cut those out too. Probably cut them instead of leaving them in there. At least this one on the bottom's a little bit complex of a cut. Thank you, David, for the suggestion. I think that really ties the coin together. I think that's pretty slick there. Looks pretty nice. This one's kind of complex. Comes up, comes down. This one's kind of just because we wanted to warp it a little bit. Kind of plain Jane, but that one's kind of nice. So yeah, there we go. That's the Tinkercad one. Any more additional ideas for that? We could maybe put a bevel on this side. I don't know, that might look a little bit weird. Kind of do like almost like a cone shape on that. We could try it out, but it might look a little goofy, but be fun. Not gonna lie, getting a little scared about going into Fusion 360. It's just so much easier with Tinkercad. It's just so much easier with Tinkercad. Why is this the opposite way? That's frustration. That's frustrating. That's fine. We can use it that same way though. Not a problem. Because we can invert this. And then we can do something like that. Could probably bring this out. I think I'm thinking about it the wrong way. Let's see. Thinking about it backwards. Something like that. Oh. How'd we end up with that shape? That crazy shape. Let's do 72. 72. Ooh, almost. 74, 74. There we go. I don't know how that really work. We'll try it. It might look kind of goofy. I think it might look goofy. Oh? I don't know. I'm gonna need your guys' opinions, because I think that kind of looks pretty cool. I don't know which one. Here, let's do this. Let's do this number. Let's ungroup that. Keep that. We'll make this one like a darker and orange. So which one? Dark orange or the yellow? What are we thinking? I don't know if the yellow adds more depth or not, or what, but I kind of like the yellow. I think it's more dynamic. A little bit tougher to print even. I think anyway. Let me know. Shoes are squeaking. I'm partial to the yellow. I mean, it is all ones and zeros, so technically. Okay, David says the yellow. I'm going to tend to agree here. I like that. It's kind of crazy. It's got that little bit of a ramp on it. I don't know if this is going to be a problem, though, with this little tiny lip. I almost want it kind of bevel out of there. See, if we ungroup this and we mess around with this thing, we might be able to get rid of that little beveled out edge. Because we want it more. Let's see, how would I see that? Let's do this kind of, oh, come on now. I think what we'll have to do is transparent on the yellow. Make it real hard on ourselves. It's this little, let's see. It's this. You can kind of see it there. It's this part of the cutout we're doing. We want that to be like flat. Not flat, but a kind of a nice arc on it, I think. So that's what I have to try and strive for. And I can't do it because I'm in this. Let's see. Does this work? Oh, I do. I can do two. So then I can hold shift down, get rid of, ha ha. So now we have to just kind of play around and see what part is what. What part will give us that? Oh, see, okay. All right. So that's the one we're having problems with. So if we, but then we're going to come down way harder. Let's see. No, we don't want to do that. We don't want to move that. We can do that. It's just not high enough resolution. It's going to create this weird thing no matter what we do. That might be okay. Let's see what that does now. Does not compute. There we go. At least now it's more of a pronounced edge, right? Yeah. Then it's more of like another test for the printer instead of just almost an STL mistake. All right. Well, there we go. I'm pretty happy with that one. Kind of looks, it looks almost mean, you know. Pretty happy with that. So, I'll print that out at some point in my life. I'll probably print that out later today on all the different printers, just because I need stuff to print anyway. And if you guys have maker coins and want me to print it out and put it in a video, just send it to my email address, revampedoutdoors, one word, @gmail.com, and I will print them out and feature them in a video of some sort. I do have the printing video for the Huni H8 coming out, so I'll print out a bunch on there because I need stuff to print with it. I'm running out of Thingiverse ideas to print out, because Thingiverse really isn't that well of a search engine. If you ever notice that, trying to find stuff on Thingiverse, like, or even just browsing for fun, you know, it doesn't really do it very well. Like, at all. Even if you just want to browse for random stuff, the only thing Thingiverse gives you back is somebody's collection of what do you call them? You can make collections on Thingiverse of different STLs, and when you say browse through Thingiverse, all it does is give you other people's stuff that they're collecting to print. So, kind of a cop-out. Yeah, it's weird. It's like a cop-out on their part, I think. But So I've been struggling just to find like cool stuff to print on Thingiverse. So yeah, if you guys got maker coins, oh that Yegi, the YEGGI. Yeah, I heard about that. Oh, that's probably not good. Capital. Got caps lock on. It's got 1,444,460 models on Yegi. That's cool. Thanks for the suggestion, Colin. Oh, here. There's fishing stuff all over the place. I'm not the only crazy man. This guy did a, or woman. Hashtag inclusive. This guy did a salmon spoon. Looks like a moonshine variant and or ripoff. See, when you put in fishing in Thingiverse, it doesn't come up. But if you search it in the Yegi, it goes to Thingiverse. That's pretty funny. It's a better search engine outside of it. This is like a moonshine spoon. If you guys ever seen moonshine spoons. Let's see. Yeah, this is probably good. Similar to these. There's a couple of them in here that, yeah, I like that. The glow in the dark. So what are these priced at for Capalots? Looks like they are $8.49. Yikes. What's this double trouble? Yeah, for a 5-inch or a 4-inch. $8.49. Yeah, Thingiverse needs some help, I think. But yeah, so this guy's saving himself $8.49. I don't know how much I trust the holder here for the snap swivel, but if you print it thick enough. Oh, I get it, what he's doing. Yeah, that's a good idea. You run the fishing line through here. Excuse me. You run a fishing line through here and then tie your hook back there. Looks like he caught a nice, it's a Chinook king salmon there. You can tell it's a Pacific salmon because they have dark dots with the light halo, or opposite. I can't remember. Either way, I know this is a Chinook because it has a black lining in its mouth. But yeah, that's cool. You know what? I'm going to like this. I'm going to like that. Oh, I got to go into it. I'll save the tab. But that's a cool idea. I might go salmon fishing on Lake Michigan this summer. So, wouldn't mind printing some of those out. Pretty cool. I like it. Alright. Sorry, sidetracked on that. Let's see here. What are we going to do? Should we try and do a Fusion 360 maker coin now? We could try it with Design Spark, but I am horrible at that still. Just started doing Design Spark, which is a cool program, by the way. But I have not practiced up enough on it, I suppose. So for maker coin, for this one, we'll probably won't do a logo imprint. There are ways to do the logo imprint. I don't know, kind of over that. We can make some cool stuff with Fusion 360 without it. Yeah, what do we want to do for this? I don't know. And just do a circle. Create a sketch. Do a circle, center diameter, or center out. Let's make this 40 millimeters. We'll try and do everything in one sketch as much as possible because I hate doing additional sketches. So let's do another circle from the center. do like here, maybe. Sure. Do another circle. Oop, that was a tangent. We didn't want to do that. That's not what I forgot what I made this. 34662. So let's just do 33662. So that'll be 1 millimeter there. Then we can do let's do a circle here of like, that'll be fine, like 3.5. Could do that. Now here's the thing. I can't remember how to do most of this stuff. That's why this is going to be a horrible tutorial in Fusion 360. I can't remember how do we get this around? That's how bad I don't use this that's how bad I am at using this program. Circular pattern. Objects. Do I have to extrude them? Oh, I have to extrude it. What a pain in the butt. So let's extrude this sucker. Extrude this thing. Let's see if we can just do it real quick. Press pull up. Let's go to like 3. That'll be fine. Yep, just started a new sketch just by right clicking. Pain in the butt. So we'll start this. We'll go to 3. We'll go in here. We'll just press pull this up to 3 as well. We'll say cut. Ah, there's no target body. I know there's no target body because I'm a dummy. Let's do this. We'll do this. Press pull on this. So then we can join these two together with a join operation. So now that's one big one. And then we can press pull this up and we can cut with it. 2, 3. Do a cut. Colin, you gave me a shout out. Appreciate it. Like when? Like right now? Who'd you shout to? Did you just do it out your window? I'm just kidding. Unless you live in like Chicago or something, that might be beneficial. Appreciate it. I'm glad you shouted me out. I'm trying to think of how I would do this. I haven't done this in so long. Oh, okay. What we need to do is we need to do pattern, and we need to make that body separate. So we have to go in here and press pull this. There we go. But we don't want to join. We just want it to be separate. We say okay. So now we got 2. Then we can pattern this circularly around this axis. And then we can say however many we want. So we'll just do, I don't know how many. Let's keep going till it looks cool. That'll work. What happened? Why doesn't that? Oh, C pattern. More info. Compute failed. One or more pattern instances. Try adjusting the pattern settings or change the selection. Ugh. Oh, cool. I like Chris's channel quite a bit. He's way more technical than I am. He's got a lot more technical knowledge than I do, for sure. I didn't know he was streaming. Oops. I don't want to steal his views. He was working on the G-Tech or something, right? I think he was assembling a printer. He had one yesterday for like 8 hours or something like that. That was crazy. His channel blew up recently over the last couple months. He's coming out with the good videos, though, that people need for their hardware issues and stuff. I just make stuff and fail a lot at it. That's what I do. I just make stuff and fail at it quite a bit. It's alright, though. We can pattern this. We won't use it to the new body. So we'll get rid of this body, which is body 2. Yes, I want to delete it. What? Body 1. Oh, maybe it was a double body in there. Okay. Now we can do the pattern. We can select bodies. Oh, I betcha. I betcha I know why I did that. So now we can keep that other body in there. Do bodies. Do it around this thing. Let's just see if it'll work. Yeah, see, now it works. Except it's not going to cut, though. Oh, it's a pretty rough put together. It's just all sorts of a mess. That's happening a lot lately, actually. That sucks. I mean, it's good that it's him that's experiencing the problems because he knows how to fix them. You know, that's a good thing. For sure. Because some of us would get something that's just completely destroyed and we'd just be like, Hence the reason why I don't do live builds. Every review video I do is always later on afterwards. Like after I've troubleshot everything I needed to. I don't understand why this isn't... We do a circular pattern. We say we want it on this, and it does it just fine. And we can add as many as we want, but when we do that, it's just going to add those. It's not going to cut them. So that's no fun. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do this the semi-hard way. We're going to create a pattern, circular pattern, from this to this. We're going to make it like 10, more than that, 18. Yeah, throw it out the window. Whenever the printers act like that, I agree. I kind of want to just throw them out the window anyway. Even when they act fine, I want to throw them out the window. Okay, so... Yeah, see, that's just going to create another issue. What a pain in the butt. I swear. I hate Fusion 360. I mean, I love Fusion 360. It's such a great program. I've never had any problems with Fusion 360. Never, ever, ever. Never once in my life ever had a problem with it. Pattern. Right, pattern. Circular pattern. Objects. Can I choose? No. Features, maybe? Those aren't... No, you need sketch objects for this. Problem is we can't choose the cut feature. So I'm not even going to worry about it. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to save the stream by saying, look at that. I made this in Fusion 360. We'll save the stream. What we can do, I think we will do a design. Yeah, me and Fusion, it's like I have half the workflow down. But if it's any little thing you don't know in Fusion, then you can't keep going to the next thing you need to do, right? So Fusion's super powerful. I really like it a lot. But if you don't know every single part of your workflow, it's really hard to troubleshoot the way around it. You have to stop, look up how to do it, and then you're back into it again. So yeah. But what we'll do here is I'm just gonna design a bobber real quick. So I know it's not a maker coin, but yeah, just gonna design another bobber because I have 2 or 3 designed right now, and I want to keep going. So I'm just gonna make a pencil bobber, and then I'll end the stream. Not really a maker coin, but it's alright. We already did the maker coin. So we'll do 180 by 4.7. So 4.7 millimeters is about 3/16, and usually the stems of fishing floats are about 3/16 wooden dowel rods, so it seems to work pretty well. But what I've been using so far is this is called backer rod. It's not rod at all. It's actually closed cell foam. You push in to behind your bathtub. So it comes in this length. This is the 5/8 inch OD. And this is the 3/16 inch OD. So when you're caulking your bathtub and stuff, you push this into the back of where you're going to lay your bead of caulk. And then this gets pushed into the back there to kind of prevent moisture from coming in. But it seems like they're about the right size to insert into a bobber. So for instance, something like this, 2 halves in here. So then you can throw the backer rod in here and then close it together and glue them shut. So then even if the PLA isn't completely bonded, you can still have a float in there because this is closed cell foam. So I've gotten a couple models done, and I've tested them overnight in the sink because we still have ice on the lakes here. But in the sink, they've been fine so far. So with that in mind, I kind of designed it around here. So we'll take a measurement in millimeters. We're looking at kind of hard to measure it, but I'm gonna say 15. It's 14 millimeters, but I'm gonna kind of buffer in a little protection there. So I'm gonna say 15 mil. So then what I do is I just kind of find the center here. I'm going to try and do this all in one sketch. Makes a lot nicer on me, but I'm going to go like this. And then I know diameter is 15 millimeters there. And then I'm just going to gauge kind of how tall I want it. That's actually pretty good. So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller to encapsulate it. So I'll go 55 or so. So that means we'll have 55 millimeters of this stuff in the bobber itself. So I'm going to put that in there. So that's going to be our negative space essentially. And then I'm going to cap the top off here with your typical bobber type cap, and I'm going to do a circle. No, sorry, I'm going to do an arc, 3-point arc, And this is why I really like Fusion, because you can do these. It'll tell you when you're at 180. It'll snap to it, stuff like that. It makes it pretty nice. Then I'll just trim up the sketch right away. Let's take that out. Then I'm just going to go through and kind of determine how far I want this off of here. So I'm going to do like 2 millimeters off of that side, and then I'll taper it with a spline. So I'm just kind of using these as, I don't want 2 millimeters. We'll do 1 millimeter. So I'm just going to taper it off the side with that. I guess. David says same with Fusion. I start out strong for the first few minutes, and then it just then it collapses. I'm right there with you. Like I'm like, oh, I remember this, and then like the third thing I'm like, I can't remember this, and then by the time I look it up and make sure I'm like, oh yeah, that's exactly right. Then I come back, I forgot the first 2 things I did. Like it just, I have mad respect for the people that just bang it out. Like Angus is really good. Maker's Muse channel. He's really good at Fusion 360 and stuff. I'm kind of like, well, I'm good with Tinkercad for now anyway. I'll figure it out later. But then I'm going to do a spline. Let's see here. My spline's going to probably come, something like that, I'm thinking. In the back of my head, I'm trying to keep in mind the ability of this to print as well. So you kind of want these, you don't want real strong, you don't want it to be really, really strong transitions. Like this almost, I'm kind of thinking that's almost too strong of a transition there. Boy, I don't know. I mean, that like too much of an arc. That angle's too strong. So you can mess with the spline a little bit, but then you bulb out your middle. Yeah, there is nothing wrong. I agree with that, Colin, that there's nothing wrong with Tinkercad for sure. It's just for like a project like this, for me to do this one in Tinkercad would be a little bit tough because hollowing stuff out in Tinkercad's a lot more work. And so there's, I think, as long as you know which ones are going to be easier for you to use, figuring out specifically the workflow for each program for that specific project, I think actually helps out more than just being dependent on one program. Because it's all about time. The faster we can get this stuff done, the better, I think. You know? Because then you're off printing more stuff or designing more stuff or whatever. Okay, so... Or actually going outside. Whew. Don't say those words. Outside. No. Okay, I'm going to go 1 millimeter. I haven't been outside in forever. It's been such a horrendous winter. Although I did go to an estate auction yesterday. That was kind of fun. Ended up buying a whole bunch of stuff I didn't need. Not a whole bunch of stuff. That was good. I bought another ice fishing auger. Definitely didn't need that. So I'm just putting spacers in here of 1 mil just so I can kind of know where to go with the spline. And the spline doesn't freak out too much as I go around here. And then I'll just cancel, or not cancel, but close that out. So that looks okay to me. I might bring this in just a bit, kind of match that other side. That looks pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Trim this out again. So I'm trimming all these placeholders out. You can use the measure placeholder as well, but it's just quicker for me to put lines in. Oh, I'm in Wisconsin. Specifically northern Wisconsin. That's why in some videos you can't hear me. You can't understand what I'm saying. Because I live up in the top part of the upper Midwest there, guy. So it's, I think, this morning it was 9 degrees still. So that was cool. We just got 6 inches of snow Monday or Tuesday. Monday, I think it was Monday night, I think. So, last Monday. Yeah. The daylight time might be, we might get more daylight per day, but our temps are still there. Our temps are still really low. There's still guys out ice fishing. You're not finding me out there, man. I don't trust that stuff. I mean, you'll find me ice fishing, but there's got to be more than like 3 inches of sketchy ice for me to do it. It's snowing in Missouri? Really? Well, nature took it literally. She's showing you her snow. That's crazy. It's snowing in Missouri. I like Missouri. I've been to St. Louis a couple times. We had track meets at Washington University. I want to say Washington University. Because I was like, I'm in St. Louis. Why is it a Washington University? I remember that. Then we stayed at the Drake Motel, or Hotel, sorry. The Drake, which was almost like right down by the arch there. I actually do like the Lou quite a bit, actually. Where else? I forget what I'm doing. I started thinking about St. Louis too much. Got lost. Oh, arc. 3-point arc. We're going to do the bottom here. There it is. Like that. Yep. Okay, so now we got the bottom and the top of that done. I'll trim this up again. So the way I've kind of thought about line containment on these things is I put a little notch in there, and I'm printing in place this thing that comes up and locks. There should be a taper to this, so the collar's coming up and locking in the line of the fishing float, aka bobber. So to do that, we have to pitch this a little bit. There's got to be some kind of angle on it. So coming up with that angle is pretty arbitrary. Seems like. Haven't really found a good formula for that. But if we go kind of like maybe 80, let's say 80. Whoa, not 65. Yikes. Let's do like 87. We'll do like 87, something like that. We'll do 87 to there. And then I'm just going to close it off with this line, because that line was 34. That line is 3.451. So come back here, do 3.451. So then I have these two lines again. I can cap that off with another 3-point arc. That. And then because I'm here, I'll just trim it up. Oh, that was stupid. Now I'm going to lose that part. There we go. Then I can trim this up. There we go. Oh, see, there we go. I'm bringing people together on my live stream. Slappy's from Missouri as well. Yeah, St. Louis is kind of different than the rest of Missouri. I don't want to say that it's the same. I just mean that's my familiarity with Missouri. Missouri. Let's see. I was actually going to go down there, some little town down there for the eclipse, right? I think so. Or that might have been very southern Illinois. I can't remember. But I was going to make the trip down that way. I think that was southern Illinois. Illinois. Never did, though. Just like everything in life, I had grandiose plans to do it and never did it. Let's see, I'll go... Let's do like 140. 140 here. This is going to be an indent for the line to go. So 140 degrees means that's stepped out at 40 degree print angle, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but I don't know. I kind of want it a little steeper than that. Let's do it like this, like yeah, let's do like a 50. So that's 130. I'll put that at 50. So then we can come back through here again, and we can zoom in and go to 50. Boom, 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 boom. Then that's going to be our little indentation where we can wrap the line around. And then we can trim that off. So now the kind of tricky part, we kind of want to match this. And this one always causes some trial and error. So I usually set it to about 0.7 off of this angle to start. And then it's usually about one print to dial in exactly how far it needs to go. So I'm just coming off like 0.7 off of that angle, just so I set the same angle for sure. And then I have my kind of starting block area. So then I can come from here and just do like a 1 millimeter spacing. Come on with that. Really? Just do it, man. What's the problem here? That's exactly what I've been trying to do for the last 2 minutes, computer. You weirdos. Alright, there it is. Trim, trim, trim. St. Joe, Missouri. Is that like the town, probably? I was thinking about it. I almost took the day off because it was during kind of like a busier time for work. Because I work in agriculture, so that's why I have so much free time now But here, as soon as we start thawing out and stuff, I'm going to be super busy every week. I'll still try and do some, like, just random videos or, like, live streams during, like, if it's pouring down rain or something. But for the most part, I work 6-7 days a week through pretty much all of the spring. And then once stuff's growing, I get a little bit more of a break again. And then in the fall, it's just crazy. Crazy amount of hours. Okay, so now we got our little ring deal here. So we can click, maybe we can click that. Control, click, click, click. Then we can move that down to, this will all make sense in a minute, I promise. It'll all make sense. Everything will make sense, I swear. So then I put that, about like 0.2 millimeters, maybe 0.3 millimeters off of this line. And that way, when I export the STL, we'll save that in place. So when I export the STL for this side, it's going to be specifically, like, you shouldn't need support, right? Because it'll just go up a little print. And then you should be able to break this away independent, for instance. So when they print flat on the printer like that, this part breaks away independently without the need of support and everything in there. Then you can throw your backer rod in there like that on either side here. And then if you use the brim to print, you can just fold it over like that and glue them together. That's been the plan anyway. Well, dropping stuff. Dropping parts like a bad habit. But anyway, that'll go in there. That should print by itself then. And then we should be good with that. It should come up to here. It should snug into that pretty well. So then what we need to do is we have our general outline of our fishing float. What I like to do then is just run a line down the middle of the float, just to make life easier on myself. And we have this cavity on the inside. We don't really care if that cavity's there or not. Oh, and we have intersecting lines on our spline. And I think it's because I clicked the wrong one. Let's move this. Okay. Apparently we won't move that one. I don't understand. How would I do that? Did I make that big of a mistake, or did the computer do that thinking it was helping? Maybe I made that big of a mistake, huh? Why is that off of the center line as well? That's not cool. That's not cool at all. What the F? I tell you what, it's one of those days. It's like Sunday, trying to just be super lazy, not worry about anything. And I decided I'll do a stream with Fusion 360. That sounds like a good idea. You'd think I'd learn. That's alright. There we go. Now we have a center line. A true center line. And for some reason, we still have this issue, which I think I can do this with. Nope, it's going to bring the whole thing. Of course, naturally. So we'll try it again. We'll do a spline. We'll cancel that out. I'll run my lines again. Just my little reference lines to make life easier. What a pain. That's what you get for not paying attention, kids. Do as I say, not as I do. What's this? Alright. What is this? 1. Boom. Okay, now we're good. Now everything is right with the cosmos. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Now I can mess with this again and screw it up at the top again. Nah, I don't think so. I think it'll be fine right there. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Now everything is good again. Things just fine. Happy little lines. Okay. Now we're all set up. Which is good because I'm already on 2 hours of this stream, which is crazy. Alright, so now all I'm going to do is try and find like the center of where I think, like where could I split this in half and be alright splitting it in half to print. So I'm going to go like here, just split it in half with just a line. And then what I can do is revolve this half of the bobber around the center point. So I'm just going to get that worked out. That's not what I wanted. Oh, we have to do this. We have to go to the center line with that. And now we can pick that and this. Alright, so now we can do a create a revolve with those two profiles on this center axis. So now we have a hollowed out bottom of a bobber. Make that a new body. So now we got those two bodies done. So then we can do the same thing here with this part, as long as we come in here and make a line. Oh, really? Really? Fusion 360. Super professional here on Revamped Outdoors. It's going to be super professional when I throw the computer out the window too. Tell you, boy, I tell you what. Okay, we're going to go here to right there. So now we can revolve this half of the top. And we can do that on here. Boom. Look at that little happy top. Happy top of the bobber. Just perfect. So new body on that one too. So now we end up having 3 bodies which resemble a fishing float, which should float in the water. All for the low price of like 10 cents a filament. Preferably printed with something bright. Well, I guess that's not entirely true because this stuff did cost $3 for 20 feet. So, I don't know. You break that down per inch, what is that? How many inches are in 20 feet? 2,000? 2,240 or something crazy like that. Inches in 20 feet. So let's say 3 inches of backer rod per, let's say, we get 4 of these per foot, right? You got 20 feet at $3 a foot, or $3 for 20 feet. So you're looking at roughly what, 20 cents per foot. So you're looking at 5 cents. Let's say the bobber costs you, let's say that bobber costs 10 cents total. 3 cents for this, 7 cents for filament. And it's PLA, which means that it's, out of most plastics, it's actually biodegradable. So it will break down over time, especially out in the environment. So it's not, it's just a cornstarch derivative product. So it will break down over time. So you can not feel too bad if you lose them. So if you're in an area with a whole lot of snags, or you're fishing riprap with a lot of rocks and you're losing bobber after bobber after bobber, well, there you go. Now you don't have to shell out tons of dough. But yeah, thanks, David. It looks pretty good, I think. Yeah, so exporting these from Fusion's a little bit, I don't know. It seems like everything in Fusion, they just make it like super complicated when it doesn't have to be. But the first, what I do is I highlight both just so I know which two I'm dealing with on the bodies, and then I'll come up here, I'll save as STL, I'll call it whatever. So this will be model 4. We'll call this like live stream. Model 4 live stream. And then you save it in there. Model 4 bottom live stream. I didn't do that right, did I? Model 4 live stream bottom. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. We can throw it into the old Fusion 360 there at some point. Fishing floats, live stream. Let's open this one. Otherwise it's gonna freak out. You can see I've been messing with this lately. But so we put that one in, and we'll do the top of that one. So it's gonna load in that way, but you just come in here at Y and you do a center and arrange. And then, so this is what the really cool part is. When you set this up, you prepare to print. Yeah, I have 2 processes, but whatever. This is the real cool part. See, so they print like this, right? With the brim extended on there, right? So, but it just folds over once it's printed, and they line up. Right? I got a little retraction issues here, trying to work that out. But regardless, you go like that, they line up perfect. You just put a little bit of super glue in there, boop, hold them down. They line up like a champ, and you don't have to worry about like kind of piecing them in together or whatever. Because if they evenly spaced here on Simplify 3D, the brims will touch, or whatever. You could be using Cura or Idea Maker or Slicer or Slick 3R or however you want to say it. Craftware, any of those. They'll line them up for you if you can get your brims to touch. Then you just fold them over on themselves, right? And with or without supports, because the only thing that's really going to droop is going to be the inside. You don't really need them on anything else. So, yeah. So I should be able to do. I'll release like a pack of these bobbers at some point once I get them all kind of dialed in. I'd like to print them on more than one printer, just to make sure that some of these tolerances, the clearance from the tolerances, right, are correct on these final printed on more than one printer. But yeah. Yeah, looks like a bobber, I think. Doesn't quite look like a maker coin, but I mean, maybe you could. It looks like a maker coin to me. Let's rephrase. Here's the. We could really do some goofy stuff here. I guess I got a second. I got a couple seconds here. Whatever. I got a minute or two. Let's see if I can't figure out how to do this. Let's make an offset plane from, I guess it would be the origin. Yeah, like right here. But I don't know how I'm going to do that. Let's do it like up here. Sure. Whatever. We'll make an offset plane there. And we'll do a sketch there. Whoa. Whoa, that's maybe not what I wanted to do. Yeah, that is what I wanted to do. Okay, then I'm going to insert an SVG. I think this is my workflow for this. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've done that. Let's do. There we go. Okay, so that's funny. That actually worked. Didn't think that was gonna work. Okay. There we go. So now this is the crazy part with this kind of stuff. How? I can't remember how to do this. I go. Modify. No, that's not what I was doing. I might need to. Oh, split face, right? Yeah. There it is. Now we're cooking with gas. I'm going to go to this body. I'm going to split the face. Oops. Oh, what the heck? That was just in there. Split face. There we go. Split that face right there with this R. Then I say okay. Oh, check that out. Now we could just do that and keep doing that and keep doing that, which we will do because why not, right? Split face, this body, this little one here. Say okay. Modify, split face. This one right here. This face back here. Okay. Modify, split face. See, this is the problem. Doing stuff live, like I can't run a time lapse of it. So, you're just gonna have to sit and suffer. Like this, yeah, okay. Modify, split face, split this face, like this. Okay. Probably don't need all of them on there. I'd say we could go like maybe that one. Yeah, that'll be fine. And then we go this one. That one will be fine right there. Possibly. And then you can do this. Do the whole outer edge. Right. Alright, now we can turn these off if we want it. And now it just becomes... Oh, maybe not. Wasn't there a middle... Oh, yeah. The most important part of the whole thing. Let's do a face split on here. Right there. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's so frustrating. What's wrong with that? Oh, you gotta do each one of these. So, if there's a complex one, you have to go like... Well, why did it do it now? Doesn't make any sense. What happened there? Compute failed. No intersection between target and split tool. Yes, there is. Oh, no. That's a fail. So, if you guys ever want to do this trick, when you do the split face on a convex angle, so for instance, like this, you always have to do the center first, because then it's not cut again. So it was cut already, so then it doesn't need then it doesn't know that it has to go out from that cut. So you always have to do the inside cut first. So for instance, we can do that, and then then we can go back in, split the face again, and we can do the outer edge. Hey Ben, just started watching this channel today. Well, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. I'm not going to say that I'll be that entertaining after 2 hours of streaming, but I'll try my best. I'm going to just... Well, I mean, we're so far into this now. I just got to finish it up. So right now we're just we're trying to emboss a convex curve on to a model in Fusion 360, which may or may not work at this point. It seems to be sort of working, so I think I might have made my logo a little too big. Yeah. Yep. Oh well. Kind of went through everything. But so let's see. We go through on this one. Let's see. Let's try split face on this. Let's just do the outer perimeter of it, because otherwise we'll be here till the end of time. But anyway, we got those set. Now it's just the same as anything else, man. Now you just pull it out. You just pull it out like a regular press pull. If your computer doesn't absolutely die, which it might, because yep, oh, we might be locked up. Nope, we got it. We made it. We pushed through. We pushed through. So then I'm gonna press pull this sucker. We'll do this like 0.2. Make it dynamic. Make it a little different. Oh, I might freak out. Complex angles. Complex angles. There we go. And then this one, I don't think probably gonna work, because I don't know what happens when I put. Oh, okay. A little bit weird, but try and press pull that. All right, yeah, I'll check it out once I'm done. I'm about done here anyway, but yeah, I'll check it out. If it is a pretty bad, that'd be I don't want to laugh though, but you gotta figure something out. Oh, okay, yeah, that didn't quite work. So we'll back that off because it's going to the outer edge of this. Yeah, it's just gonna bring it all out. So realistically, what I should have done is brought the whole logo into fit, and I didn't. I had it out here because I was just being quick with it, but you guys get the point. We could bring this one out to 1mm. Yeah. See, so then we have the logo printed on the bobber. And then you can do it on the other side as well. But you could switch that back around. It doesn't have to be a mirrored image. So, the revamped bobber. I'll check that benchy out. But yeah, so I'll come up with a whole pack of these things, and I'll release the STLs for them at some point. I'll put the STL of the maker coin we made earlier, and I'll put that STL out on Thingiverse today. So if anybody wants to print that, go ahead and give her a rip. Should be fine. I don't think it'll be a big deal. It's not too complicated. The only thing it'll test really is going to be the retraction settings, and then kind of the heat temperature of the filament you're using if you did want to print it. And then so now I actually have a maker coin where I can I can like hand out if I ever go, to anything 3D printer related. So we'll see. But yeah, if you guys have maker coins, send them to the email address there, revampedoutdoors, all one word, at gmail.com. I'll print them out, and I will make a video about it, because I need stuff to print. Got that the Hony H8 print review to do as well, so the more stuff I have to print, the more complicated it is, the better. Oh yeah, sorry Ben, if you missed the making the maker coin. I'll probably leave the stream up. It does that pre-recorded thing, and then it just posts the stream automatically. So I'll probably leave that up. It'll probably take like a half an hour or so for it to actually go through, because the stream has been going for 2 hours. So it might take a while for YouTube to kind of work it out, but it should re-upload. If it doesn't re-upload, I could just do another live stream at some point later for a new maker coin, but I will, with the Gigamowitz and the Hujawats, yeah, that stuff. I will let it re-upload, so you should be able to see the beginning of it. This one didn't take us too long to make. We found some cool tools in the featured shape generators, so yeah. And then I'll probably leave that stream recorded up for like maybe a day or two or something. I don't like leaving up like 3-hour long streams on my channel, just because if new people are coming in, they're not too sure what's going on. They see a video of 3 hours, they're like, I'm not sitting through 2.5 hours of this guy. So I don't blame them. But all right, well, thanks everybody for